All right, welcome back. So if you have any questions or anything, just text those in and we'll try to answer those. But first, what I wanted to do is Ava and I wanted to go through and explain some of the CFX, the Comprehensive Final Exam. So Arthur, if you can switch to the slides, let me know when we're over there. 1 second. The CFX, the reason why we put the CFX in place is because we wanted to have something to make sure that everyone understood everything. You know, if you've done these classes over 2 years, then it's a chance for you to really bring everything together. And so the objective here is really all about making sure you retained some of the critical knowledge. So it's the final requirement for the MicroMaster's credential in supply chain management, and it hopefully is focused on your ability to synthesize and to apply the learnings. So it's really looking at the bigger picture of things. So as you can see, what we have for the framework, we have these 5 online courses. And unfortunately, this first class, you will hopefully be the only cohort that hasn't taken this in sequential order, because most of you took 1, then 2, then 3, then 0, and then 4. Hopefully, people will start coming through the normal progression where 0, 1, and 2 are more the analytical model-based, 2 flips and starts being more qualitative, through 3 and 4. So it's kind of a designed to be taken in sequence, but at the end of the day, the Comprehensive Final Exam is there to make sure that everyone understands and can apply all the different things that they learned across the 5 courses. So that's the objective. It's we used to call it a capstone. We changed the name because when a student comes to MIT, they might be doing a capstone project, and we didn't want to make those two similar. So it's a comprehensive final exam, and the comprehensive is the key word. It covers everything that we've talked about.
Mm-hmm. And I want to add that this is a requirement before earning the MicroMaster credentials. So you need to complete and pass the comprehensive final exam in order to have the MicroMaster credential.
And as opposed to the other 5 courses, I said we prefer those courses to be taken in sequence. We don't enforce it because it's, as your schedule permits, maybe you take 3 before you take 2. That's okay. We don't recommend it, but we're not going to stop you. For the comprehensive final exam, you cannot take the comprehensive final exam until you have passed under verified status all 5 courses, period. No exceptions.
Yes.
You need to take them all. It's an important piece of it, and I wanted to make sure that you have all of those before. So it's meant to be done after you've taken and passed all 5 courses. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not a course, it's an exam. It's just to assess your knowledge in the 5 previous courses.
Okay, so the costs and the requirements, just build out the whole slide. So again, to get the verified, you have to have the verified certificate in the 5 courses, and you can only take it as a fully verified student. There will be an audit track for CFX though. Mm-hmm. It's not, so some people, if they want to do audit, there will be an audit version, remember?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
so, but to take this as a verified student, to get the CFX certificate, you have to do it as a verified student. There will be an audit in there. It'll be much quicker questions, because if someone wants to audit it and just learn a little bit, that's fine. There'll be very different tests, okay? And so for the audit one, we will eventually start using last year's, the previous year's tests. Since this is the first one, we'll just use a sampling of simple questions. But for you guys who want to take it for verified status, you need to make sure you're using the same username. It's going to cost $600, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. And you need to be ID verified. It's really critical, because again, the other thing this is doing is stopping any chance of mixed identities. And so we want to make sure that the same person who's taking this exam is the person who's taken the previous courses. That's really one of the objectives there. So what is the exam? Originally, if you've taken, like I'm a professional engineer, and so I've taken my certification tests. You guys have probably taken GREs or SATs, some kind of standardized tests. They're usually 1 day, 8 hours. We couldn't do that for everyone across the world, because we made it that we wanted to make sure everyone had access to this, just like they do for the MOOCs. So that's why we went and did the virtual. It's a virtual option that we expect most students to do, and I think 80% of the students are registering to do it virtually. Mm-hmm. So because we want to have both physical proctored and virtually proctored, we had to set the restrictions or design it in a certain way. And that is, we couldn't have it any longer than about 2 hours, because after about 2 hours, you might need to get up and leave the room, and doing that as a verified, it just causes all sorts of problems. So therefore, we said 2 2-hour exams. So the first one will be more like the graded assignments that you've had in the midterms and finals from 0, 1, and 2. It'll be, can you use the model? So you know which model to use when. And so kind of the bigger pictures, we're thinking about the synthesis here. The second exam, and you have to finish the first one before you take the second one, is more advanced, and it's think of more of those case studies, those micro or mini case studies that we've introduced. So more, can you apply some of those qualitative things? So we want to test both things. The tests are each 2 hours long, and you have to take both of them within 12 hours. And the reason for that is just to be fair for the people taking it physically, because they will come into one of our 6 locations, spend 2 hours in the morning, they get to eat lunch, 2 hours in the afternoon, and then they're done. So they will actually be taking them in a span of about 6 to 8 hours. But we wanted to say, to be fair, we want to make sure that all the students take it within a span of 12. And we have all these different FAQs out there for any additional questions. Please go to that if you have more questions, or email us and we'll try to answer them and keep adding to the FAQ. It's our first time running this. It's the first time that edX has done so many virtually proctored students for one of these exams. So, you know, first time, you guys should be used to being pioneers by now, because we've done a lot of firsts for edX, and this is just another one of them. But we think it's the best way to make sure that everyone across the world in all 190 plus countries that we operate in has an access to a fair exam. All right, so let's go to the timeline. So we picked a weekend. So we picked 72 hours that this will be happening. So the virtual proctoring will start at 1500 hours UTC on Friday, 19 May, and close at 1500 hours on May 22nd, which is a Monday. No exceptions, no extensions. Please don't even ask, because we cannot move these. It's very precise the way we're doing this. If you're taking it physically and you've registered for that, you need to let us know ahead of time, of course. Then that's going to happen on Saturday, May 20th in each of the locations in 3 separate time zones. And so, can you go to the next? So hopefully you've seen this already, and you've picked, if you're going to do the physical proctoring, that you can see the locations. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Cambridge, Zaragoza, Spain, Bogota, Colombia, Shah Alam, which is outside Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Luxembourg, and then Ningbo, China. We're going to be monitoring those and physically proctoring. I'll be here. All of us here will be at the Cambridge one, because we'll have about 100 students, I think. We'll be physically proctoring. We want the students to have the exact same experience virtually as physically. So we'll try to treat those all the same. You'll be using your own laptop. You'll be using online the same edX platform, the same questions. Anything else about the actual test?
The only thing is you need to fill the form before April 12th in order to choose your favorite option, and we will try our best assigning you to the locations. Yeah,
it looks, I was pleasantly surprised. I was hoping that we'd have 100% virtual, but about 80, 85% virtual. That's pretty good. That's, I think it's a new technology. People aren't as comfortable with it yet. But I was happy to see it a higher number. We were worried that we'd have 800 people coming to MIT. So I'm kind of glad you're not coming. I'm glad it's being virtual. Okay, relevant dates. The pre-registration closes, and we'll hold you to this. April 14th, we'll confirm your placement. edX will notify you. We'll make sure you're enrolled. The next week, the 21st, we'll verify that you're in there and make sure ID verified. And so the verification ends on May 3rd. So at that point, no one else can come in, and we want to make sure that everything is set. Because this is very important, and this is why this test costs so much, for a couple of reasons. One is it's going to be made from scratch every year. So that takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. The second is all this verification process takes a lot of additional effort as well. So this is a very intricate dance that we're doing to have 5 live proctored tests as well as this virtual one over a 72-hour period. So then the actual proctoring will happen May 19th to the 21st, as we said before.
Yeah, I want to add, we will enroll you in the courses, but you need to verify yourself. So this, you need to go, the typical process, verify your identity. So we are going to enroll you in the course, but the second part you need to do by yourself. We cannot verify you. Okay.
So then the other thing that we've started doing is the portal. So we're hoping that you're using this, and it's actually required. We want to make sure you're in the portal, because now once you guys take the CFX, you're part of the community. And so we're trying to build more of that, and having the portal, that's the main reason it's there, It's a way for us to keep in contact and you to keep in contact with each other, because many of you have taken classes in different sequences and different runs, but you're all together in this single cohort. So it's an easier way for us to work with you and for you to contact each other. And hopefully this community will grow more. This is what Arthur's job is, to really grow this community. And I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. But it's required for you to do so if you want to take the CFx.
Yeah, and we are going to use the portal as the main way to communicate with you about any details of about the comprehensive final exam. So that's why it's mandatory that you are part of this portal.
Okay, so where are you guys from? Pretty much everywhere. And so it's about, these are the people who passed or are on track to pass all 5 courses. And so it's about 12 to 1,300, depending on, right in there? Yeah. And so you can see the majority is still the US, but they're, Brazil, Spain, India, China. There's still big numbers there. We're all spread out. That's why we have to do the virtual. We can't have testing centers in each of these different locations.
But we have in Boston, in Spain, so most of them.
And we're hitting 1, 2, 3, 4 continents.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what will you need for the exam? So with everything, the government issued ID. If you've been using the same one, it's a lot easier to use the same one when you can show up. Physical proctoring as well. If you're physically proctoring, you're still gonna have to show that ID. They'll probably take a picture of you still. Okay, so that just be prepared for that. You have to bring your computer. So that obviously has to be a laptop. I highly recommend not just bringing a iPad because you might need more than that. I know some of you have taken it with the iPad when it's convenient. You can, we won't restrict it, but generally laptops preferred. Even people for physical in-person proctoring have to bring their own wireless, their own laptop, and it has to have wireless capability. You'll also have a PDF of the complete key concept document for all 5 courses. What we're trying to do is to make one available online for you. You can't bring it in hard copy paper, right?
No.
We tried to figure out a way for this, but there's no way for us to verify that someone hasn't written in different notes or cheated if it's done virtually, or even if it's done fictionally, because we've seen that the key concept document now is how many pages? It's hundreds of pages now. And so we're not going to physically check each one. However, we'll have a PDF for it available for you online. And we'll release that one as soon as we're done compiling it. So you'll all have the same common document. And then you can use either Excel or LibreOffice. You won't need any other software. We're not going to make you do simulations, doing anything else. Trust me, we're not going to test on your ability to remember how to run Ample or SAS. We're testing you on the concepts. So you might need Excel or LibreOffice. That's fine. No Google Sheets, because you can communicate with other people with it. So this is all you'll need. Very much, it's better than a closed book. We wanted to have the key concept doc. Our other option was to have no materials. You'll also have a sheet of paper. We'll allow you to have a sheet of paper. Both sides, sheet of paper.
Just one.
Yeah, just one.
And
okay.
Do not forget to scan. When you are scanning the room, you need to go through the sheet of paper and show both sides.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So what's next after this?
What's next? Apply for the blended program. Do you want to inform about that? Yeah, the next step, once you complete that, you are going to, if you pass the comprehensive final exam, you are going to earn the MicroMaster credential in supply chain management. It's a standalone certificate, or you can use to apply for a blended program, a master degree program here at MIT or at other universities. So the process is, the application is already open. Those that are interested, you can apply to this blended program with your certificate. Questions. We received some questions. Let's go through the questions.
Okay.
Please.
Go to the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
So we can go back to live then? Yeah, let's do that. All right.
Okay.
Questions.
So the next CFx, when is going to happen? May 2018?
No, it'll be way before that. It'll be probably January, early February. The way we're going to do the CFx, the way that it makes sense, and guys, this is the first time we've run it, so any feedback, please let us know. It takes a lot of effort to create one of these, so we're not going to do them every month. Eventually, long term, we'll do them twice a year. It'll usually be done within a month of SC4x finishing, right? Because we're encouraging people to make that the last course you take. It makes sense, right? You do that TFC simulation, you kind of wrap things up, and we try to synthesize. You see more case studies. So within 1 to 2 months of every time we finish SC4x, there will be a CFX. So next run of SC4x starts in the fall of 2017. It finishes, I think, right before Christmas of 2017. And so then in probably early January or late January, early February, we'll have the CFX, the next one. We will publish that date within the next 2 months. So we'll nail that down. After that, the next one will be done in the fall of 2018. So we'll pretty much have a spring and a fall. It will be the times that these are run. And we're timing those again, so it's after the SC4X finishes, but also hopefully it fits in time with admissions cycles. This one, because of the timing that we had to do, is very late in the process. So we're actually extending the admissions process for the blended program, but in future years, we'll be taking this a little earlier in the spring. Make sense?
Makes sense. What else? About the cost. They are asking about if the price of the CFX is going to increase, and also the cost of each certificate in each course.
We're getting a lot of pressure from edX to actually increase the cost. We're trying to keep it constant, and we certainly kept it constant for this first cycle. I don't see anything in the pipeline for an increase. I don't
Not
see
so
one.
far. Yeah.
But you know,
you never know. But
since the time I've been here at MIT, tuition has increased at MIT. It's almost doubled in the last 15 years. So prices tend to increase. There's a lot of effort, though, to try to keep it very low cost for everyone across the world, though. I don't see a price increase anytime soon.
Yeah, people are asking if they can have an invoice for the registration, for the verification fee. No, the answer is no. Unfortunately, I don't think
edX doesn't do it.
edX doesn't do it.
So complain to edX.
Yes, this is out of our scope, unfortunately. So yeah. The key concept document divided in courses or offer as one solid document.
What I want to do is have it as one. I don't know if we can do it because it gets massive. So we're trying to figure that out. That's what's taking us a little time. We're testing to see what works.
Yeah.
Because it becomes massive because we put so many pictures in and everything. So I don't know yet. Hopefully it'll just be one, because then you can use the search function, right? That's what we really want to do, is make it so it's easily searchable. And we want to get it out to you way in advance. I don't want it to be that the first time you see this is during the test. And it won't change that much from the ones that have been developed. But as you guys know, if anyone took SC1X in 2014, you didn't have a document, right? So, and then the 2015 run, it's changed since then. And so it's all changed and morphed a little bit since we had the runs. That's why I want one standard one instead of the different versions that have been produced.
We have a question from Odesoki. When do we find out our preference for MIT as a physical test team? We are going to inform you on April 14th. So the deadline for to fill the form is April 12th. By April 14th, we will send you a note informing about this.
To be honest, it's looking very easy. We have capacity. I can't imagine us closing unless a sudden 500 people suddenly switch their minds. But right now we're tracking about 120, not even that yet. So it should be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
So then let's come back to wrap up and to, okay.
Okay. So if you have any other questions about CFX, anything about the MicroMasters, the blended, please let us know, and we'll try to answer them for you. Any suggestions you have for anything that we're doing, we're very open for suggestions. We don't always listen to, we don't always follow them, but we'll take them as a suggestion, because we're always have the same goal as you do, is to make the course better, more educational, and more valid.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the feedback already received. This always helps us to improve. Thank you also to the team. This is a team effort. There are a lot of people behind this program. So I really want to say thank you to the postdoc, to Arthur, our community manager, TAs, and community TAs. Thank you to all, because this is really a team effort. Any question regarding to the comprehensive final exam, please send an email to cfxhelp@mit.edu. Thank you so much. Good luck with the final exam in SC4X and the comprehensive final exam. Best of luck to everyone. Thank you.
Take care.